It is very important to understand how GROUDON works in Pokemon so you don't make mistakes like this one. Go together. No, where are you running? Go together. Safe way. Don't just run in. Don't eject button! It's not Rayquaza! It is very different from Rayquaza. You can't just storm onto a goal and expect you're going to score. You have to change your ways of thinking on how to play GROUDON. And in this video, I'm going to try to explain what you should do in a winning position and also in a losing position where you actually lose GROUDON and in scenarios where you win GROUDON. Very important. What does GROUDON do first? After slaying GROUDON, you get a buff and a shield. The shield is just a shield though. It doesn't work like Rayquaza. You don't have score sheet. The score sheet is completely gone. The moment you walk onto a goal, if enemies attack you, you will get stopped from scoring. That no longer exists. But you also have a nice damage boost to everything now. Compared to Rayquaza was only a few things. Now GROUDON buffs all your damage everywhere and also makes you still score faster though. It's a buff that pretty much gives you a goal getter. And if you're knocked out though, the buff gets transferred towards the opponent, and the buff lasts forever until the game is over. It doesn't run out of time. The only thing that matters is getting knocked out. The moment you get knocked out, the buff is gone and goes over to your enemy. Which is very important. It allows you to still win games even after losing GROUDON, and a lot of people still think it's Rayquaza, and the moment GROUDON is gone, they will start surrender voting. The most important thing is you have to keep your calm, place the collector. There's still 2 minutes to go most of the time, at least a minute to go after GROUDON goes down. And it's important to stay in the game and focus because almost every single game can still be winnable. Since players do a lot of mistakes with GROUDON too. And first I want to showcase that also I do mistakes with it. First I want to show a massive mistake of mine. I know my team is about to get GROUDON, and what is very important is you don't charge in alone. Very, very important. So we get GROUDON right here. And I'm kind of just on their side of the map, not having cooldowns. And in this moment, right, I already know, oh no, I messed up big time. One buff goes over to their carry, which is Darkrai, has more damage now. And this causes a complete chain reaction of us just straight up losing the game. So what happens if my Blastoise also thinks he has to score? He doesn't. At this point, my entire team should have based and just defended instead of running towards their side. It's my fault, but all of us instantly messed up. So in that scenario, it's completely the right decision to just go defend your goals. You don't always have to push as well. If you're 200-300 points up, you don't have to go for the enemy goal. And now it just turns into a complete disaster. Our Darkrai doesn't get Unite Move out. They get out first. They're going to start scoring with the GROUDON buff. Also very important, if you multiple targets on the same goal and you start scoring, it's even faster. So always you want to push together. I just want to emphasize this on this a lot. We're going to watch in the next clip soon. You have to push together and not make mistakes like I did there, getting caught, and then all of us get caught. And we actually end up losing this game from 200-300 points up and getting GROUDON. So you don't want to end up like this. Make sure you play safe still if you have such a big lead. Here's a better example of me almost doing the same mistake right here. So we get GROUDON. And I kind of just went off there. I mean, I was like, they're all still dead, right? So a lot of KO timers right here. I use my sparks. I should also keep my ability. I should not spark towards the goal. I see Greninja here. I can walk up and it's like, maybe I can one-shot him, but I just use my spark, which is a huge mistake. And at this point, I realized, okay, now I just gotta run away. Just gonna try and live, not brute force it too hard, and just regroup with my team right here, and then we can start pushing together. The game is not won yet, still 50 seconds to go. So right here, we group up with our team. And then we realize if I just stay on the goal and start scoring, I'm going to go down. Also, I should have not used my mobility before even going to the goal, because potentially I have to escape. We go to the goal, we push together, and we actually win the game. So this is literally just the most important thing when getting GROUDON. You have to play together. Make sure that maybe 2 people or 3 people end up on the goal, so it's even easier to score, because you have more scoring speed as a team combined on the goal. So right here, for example, as well, I'm saying retreat first. I'm going to just start. We are really struggling, by the way. We need to score at least 200 points or 150 or something to actually win the game. So you can see me, I'm not rushing towards the goal. If I rush towards this goal right now, I could go down. And of course, I don't want this to happen, right? So I'm actually waiting for my team first. I'm waiting for Clefairy to walk up. Glaceon should also be with me on bot lane. We should be on the same thing. So I see Glaceon, Charizard top lane. I'm just going to be the one that moves towards them. I'm not going to do anything fancy on bot lane. First, we're going to look for KOs together. We have attacker that have a lot of damage, especially as an attacker Pokemon. Don't try to score. If you play an attacker Pokemon, you are the one that has to KO enemies from far away. Use the GROUDON damage buff to do as much damage as you can KO the enemies on top of the goal, and then help your melee Pokemon score. And eventually, when you take them down, you're able to score. So these are how the scenario should play out, right? Compared to what I did on Talonflame. Wait for your team. Have your attackers push. And if you play attacker Pokemon, stay behind first. Try to attack their front lane. Look for KOs. Don't look for brute forcing a score. Now we're going to look at some scenarios what happens when you lose Groudon and the enemies actually get the buff. Most important thing is, again, not to panic. You can still win the game if the enemies also make mistakes, like, you know, the one I did, where you just rush towards the left side or right side and you try and score alone, which can be sometimes right, sometimes a terrible decision. Of course, you can just go score. If the enemies are gone and you see their KO timers, there's only one person up, of course you can just run into the goal and you're most likely able to score. So, we lose Groudon here, but very important, if you pay attention at the 1 minute mark, there's 1 minute left, you will see that we are still winning. This is also something we have to talk about, is sometimes it's better not to just rush in, try and last a Groudon, but instead just try to defend your goals and hope that the enemies overextend and feed you buffs. Very important. So right now there are 4 buffs. And right here also, again, this was very risky of Cinder Ace, but actually gets now play on Gardevoir. So it says we're in the lead, which means if the enemies don't score over, and you know, between like 30 and 100 points, we're definitely still going to win. So enemies overextend. We already get another buff. Gardevoir went alone on bot lane, the Decidueye went alone on top lane. Also very important, you cannot be on the jump pad against Groudon. Also gonna say that. I don't have all the examples right on this video. I tried to mark down some games I had where some Groudon stuff happened, but we have to talk about this in general too. Be on top in bot goal. Right here in this scenario, you always want to be on the goal. Cinder Ace, of course, has to recoil maybe. Actually, doesn't even have to recoil. Cinder Ace could just stay on the goal. Always have one person on top, one person on bot goal, and then maybe one person on the jump pad to be able to react to. But you always should cover a goal, because the Groudon scoring is so fast, the jump pad will not be in time. If the enemy starts scoring, there's even one or two, maybe even 2 people there, the score will happen before the jump pad even happens. So we see Slowbro now, but we're just buying time. We know that they have to still go for a push. We're in the lead, so we don't have to panic, we don't have to push. Everyone is defending. And then Slowbro walks up, last person, we take it down, and we actually win this game despite losing Groudon. Here's another fun example of what can happen. Groudon can be very intense. That's why I really like Unite right now when it comes to Groudon compared to Rayquaza. Enemies get Groudon, I get a KO instantly. I try to focus on a KO, get a buff for myself, right? Try and maybe look for more KOs right here. And with my Groudon buff, but of course it's quite difficult to fight these days. My entire team is gone. I'm the only one left. I can't really do anything right now. I end up going down. This looks like a terrible position to be in, right? We should have no chance of winning. The enemies also. The enemies are making a huge mistake right here. There's actually, there's multiple parts on what happens or what goes wrong after Groudon. The enemies have 3 goals up, we have 1 goal up. The enemies don't even have to push. All they have to do is go towards their top goal and defend. Go towards bot goal, defend. They even score another 100. This game is over. They should just recall and defend. Very important. The game still lasts 1 hour, 1 minute and 12 seconds. Recall. I do the same mistake. I know, it's like, it's very in our brain that when we score this much with Rayquaza, the game feels over, right? And the enemies can't win anymore. Completely different now. You have to play until the final second most of the time, so you cannot just end on the enemy side. It can very fast snowball into enemies still winning, because of Groudon buff being so fast, even able to score and doing also so much damage. So right now the game looks completely lost, right? It looks completely lost. The enemies literally just have to press recall, and the game is over. Instead, they're still trying to score more. They already have a 300-point lead, at least. First one, Talon goes down, I get a buff back. Now I have the big damage boost. We're gonna get 9 hits. Bub, Zoroark gets a buff, which is good that we kind of spread it out as well. We still have 42 seconds, and we're just gonna start pushing. We will just go. I mean, why not? We still have 40 seconds time left, right? We are so far behind. But with the damage buff, we can maybe even get more. Greninja now ins. He's just like, oh, I want to catch Zoroark. Goes down. Enemies are completely, have no idea that this game is losable. They have no idea. They already thought they're winning 1%. And I get it. I get in the same scenario sometimes. So that's why I'm here telling you that you have to be aware of not running into the enemy side. And now they're 3 gone. And if someone jumps here, they just get 1-shot by me. Look how fast Zoroark scores, because we have so many on the goal as well. That's what I always say. You have to score also together. The more people that are on the goal, the faster the score is. Look how fast it is. It's almost instant. 9 seconds left. Talon even brings us towards the enemy base. Eject button forward, just go. I'm just going on the goal just in case anyone else can still score some points. Charizard scores bot lane. and we actually end up winning this game. So that is ridiculous. So it's not just your team, it's the enemy team. You have to capitalize on them making mistakes. But in general, you have to stop pushing at some point. We actually win by 76 points. Out of, like, an unwinnable position. Here we go again. I played Glaceon. Enemies are getting Groudon right here. The thing is, we still have 3 Unites up. So right here, even just running into Groudon, maybe if it's gone, is a bad decision. Because we could just maybe try and defend and see if we can find some KOs with our Unite booster. 2 are gone. And I'm just looking around to see if I can get a KO somewhere. Already, the game looks again just completely lost, right? We are 2 down. They have Groudon shields. Or Groudon buffs. The shield doesn't matter. The shield is just an extra shield. It doesn't make anything for the score happen. And I get a buff right here. I get a buff. I focus on getting 1 buff at least. Now we have increased damage. Glaceon is amazing at pushing goals with that Groudon buff. So now again, we are just first defending still, seeing if something happens. We still have 1 minute, 10 to go. And very important again, push together. Don't split up too much. If you split up, you get caught, the Groudon buff goes towards the enemies, it can swing around instantly again. We see a yellow message. I was just waiting for the 1 minute mark to tell us how much the game is currently progressing. It was yellow, which means we are between 21 and 99 points behind right now, so 100 points, which I can have, wins us the game. So I build up my Ice Shard, Ice Spear, I just stay back, and I do so much damage with the buff, it's ridiculous. Just stay back, and I let my team go on the goal first. And the moment I see maybe an opportunity, I will start walking up. Now again, using my damage buff, not trying to score necessarily, not trying to force it too much. Place a Greninja dice to an Ice Spear, get the basic attacks on Espeon in, and we're able to score 100. Super annoying right here though, our Empoleon is actually AFK, because he's one of those people who think the game is over, even though it's not over. Luckily, Dragonite is here. Again, I'm staying back for now. First, using my damage buff to KO the enemy, get the score in, and we actually win another one of these games that, you know, was looking pretty over. And our Empoleon already thought it was over. But yeah, it wasn't over. And again, you can just focus. Don't try to maybe last it sometimes as well, going for Groudon. Just try and KO your opponents right now. Groudon goes down. The enemies have 2 already still dead, right? Which means they only have 3 buffs. So if he KOs someone right here, we get one of their buffs. The game is still completely open in either favor. They get Groudon. It doesn't matter. We don't surrender vote. We find 1 KO. We find a third one, a second one, and a third one. And just like this, they got Groudon. And they don't have a single buff left instantly, which means we can now push together again, stay together. Umbreon goes for the score. I'm just taking over the goal. We take down Greninja, and I let one of my Groudon buff people score, because for me it takes too long. Lined up so into the mid lane, and another game won, even though we have lost Groudon. And one more scenario, because it's so fun to see how Groudon works now, and I feel like how much it has changed the game into something much better. Enemies again. Get Groudon, we don't panic, trying to KO maybe the Darkrai right here, and get one of the buffs back. Right now. There we go. Chasing him, trying to get the buff. Trying to also not get too close, because you can see the damage he does is ridiculous. So, right now, the enemies still have some buffs left, and I have a buff, which means I kind of still want to maybe look for a push to make guarantee that we win this game, because of the back cap a bit, can still be difficult. And again, having this buff on attacker Pokemon is amazing, because you have so much range. There's a Venusaur right in here. He gets taken down. And then we can start pushing. But again, just stay back. You just want to stay back, stay at range, and throw out your abilities as an attacker. As a melee, of course, you want to run in. As a defender, your job is to try and score. Make sure your team can walk up into the goal zone. And as a ranged Pokemon, you are just looking for the KOs with the damage bonus buff. And then it's literally just this simple. So what have you learned? The most important thing is, if you win Groudon, again, I would have some fancy graphics right here, but I don't have an editor. I do all my videos by myself, and I just don't have the time or skill to really just have insane graphics right here, unfortunately. But if you win Groudon, first, look for KOs. Push together. If you have a 300, 400, 200 points lead even, just go defend. You don't have to go push. You do not have to push the enemy goal. Don't go for a ring alone. Don't jump into the enemy goal alone. Very important. Do things together. I mean, in the end, it's a team game. Of course, you can sometimes still backcap, depending on what's... If your entire team is gone, of course, you might have to just try and send it alone and go for it, right? This simple. If you lose Groudon, don't panic either. Look for buffs. Try and defend. Try and step push. You can still always win. There's so many comebacks happening with Groudon the other way compared to Rayquaza, where games felt literally lost the Moondrake Quasar went down. Groudon has opened up so much opportunity for the last 2 minutes to still be exciting, even if you lose or win Groudon. I hope this video was helpful. Hopefully you can use some of these tips in your ranked mode. If I forgot anything, which maybe I don't have a script, I'm just talking, I'm just yapping out of my mind, then write it on the comments and I will respond. Maybe like your comment, you know, if I missed anything. Very important. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!